Hey everybody, and welcome back to our latest episode of Daddy-Daughter Dinners. My name is Shubha and I'm the daddy.
And my name is Isabelle and I'm the daughter.
And we wanted to thank all of the support and love that we've gotten from our viewers. We haven't posted a video in a while and everyone's been calling and messaging and texting and asking when the next video is coming, right?
Yeah.
So we're back. We got some videos coming and we're gonna have some great stuff cooking for the fall season and the winter season coming up.
So today we are cooking lasagna, my favorite.
Today is your favorite suggestion, which is lasagna. And we're gonna be doing lasagna from scratch. Well, we're gonna be doing the sauce from scratch.
Yeah.
We won't be doing the pasta from scratch today, right?
Yeah.
But every good lasagna, in our eyes, starts with a good meat sauce, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna start making the meat sauce. So Izzy, do you wanna tell our viewers all of the ingredients that we're gonna be putting into the meat sauce?
Yeah. So
Go ahead.
first we have.
Why don't you start with the main ingredient first?
Okay, so we have the tomato sauce.
Tomatoes. And what kind of tomatoes do we use when we're making it? Do you know? We use a tomato called San Marzano tomatoes from Italy. Can you say that? Try it. San Marzano tomatoes. And we're gonna get our hands in there and get dirty after, but you can talk about the rest of the ingredients.
Next we have ground beef, and this is the sausage.
Yep, so we're gonna be using two kinds of meat for our meat sauce, right? We got beef and we got pork sausage.
Yeah, and then we have the tomato paste. This is a brand, it's from Longo's.
Unico.
Yeah, and then we have chopped up garlic that we chopped up before.
Why don't you pan across the ingredients as she's doing it, Donna? You don't have to show her. You don't have to show her, sweetie. Mommy's gonna pan it. Like, I can't keep talking about it, right?
Okay, so next we have sugar. The sugar is at the bottom. Next we have the sugar. It's at the bottom of the bowl. And we have some, what's that?
That's garlic powder.
And we have oregano flakes. Now we have some parsley and some sliced onions and sliced mushrooms.
All right.
So that's all the ingredients.
That's all the ingredients that's gonna go into our meat sauce. We're gonna get this stuff mixed up.
Yeah.
We're gonna start frying up the meats. Then we're gonna start stewing those tomatoes with the rest of our ingredients, get it all into one pot, and it's gonna take about 2 hours to cook all that, okay?
Wow.
Yeah, so why don't you get your hands into the tomatoes and I'll get my hands into the meat. So we're gonna mix this stuff up all nicely. Izzy's gonna mash up those tomatoes and get them nice and what? Nice and mashed up.
Watery.
Nice and watery, so that we can get the sauce cooking, so that we can get that stewing. And I'm gonna get these two kinds of meat nicely mixed up together here.
And as you see, it's no longer shaped like it was earlier.
Yeah, and when you use the two meats, one of the things that we find is, not only do you get a very nice flavor from both the pork and the beef, but you also get, a little bit of that fat from the pork sausage, and that helps us get a really nice flavor right into that meat sauce. Right, sweetheart? And when did you decide lasagna was your favorite?
Last year.
Last year? Why is lasagna your favorite?
Because I like pasta and I like meat.
Yeah.
And that's it mixed together.
And it's a combination of
Yeah,
both?
it's like cheesy and crunchy on the pasta, so I like it.
So you keep mixing up those tomatoes, sweetie.
Okay.
I got the cast iron skillet over there heating up. And what I'm gonna do right after is I'm gonna get this pork and beef mixture frying over there on the pan. Get a nice sear on it before we add it into the pot, okay?
Okay.
Pause, please. So, we got the cast iron skillet warming over here on the stove, sweetie. What we're gonna do is we're gonna brown the meat on this cast iron pan here, and then we're gonna stew everything together and cook it down in this Dutch oven, okay?
It's getting hot.
It's getting very hot, sweetie. I want to get that cast iron skillet really hot so that the meat browns nicely. I'm gonna burn off a little bit of that residue that I had from cooking on it last time. While we're warming that, why don't you just tell the viewers why we took some time off? Because we haven't had a video in a while.
So we took the time off because we were busy during the summer, enjoying the nice weather, going out with family and friends.
Yeah, and did we have a fun summer?
Yeah.
We did. Now we're ready to get back into it this fall with our cooking series, right?
Yeah.
And why don't you tell our viewers some of the fun things that you did over the summer? Maybe what are the top 3 things that you enjoyed about this summer?
So one of the things, we're going to New Jersey to see my cousin.
Oh, that was lots of fun.
Yeah.
What else? While you're thinking about it, I'm just going to tell the viewers what I'm going to add here. So I'm going to add a little bit of vegetable oil, and I'm also going to add a little bit of olive oil, okay? So we're going to do it as a mix because olive oil has a very high smoking point. So you don't want to add only olive oil when you're frying things, but I love the smell and the flavor of it. So we get a little bit of that going in there as well, okay?
Get the meat on the pan.
We're going to get this meat onto the pan right now to start browning, okay? We got the pan nice and hot with the olive oil and the vegetable oil. Careful, sweetheart. Don't let it splatter on you, okay? Why don't you come up here to the front and finish telling our viewers what some of the fun things you did this summer were.
So I already said going to New Jersey to see my cousin, and my aunt and uncle came to our house and have a water balloon fight, so that's another thing I like. And another thing is going to my friend's house for sleepovers and stuff. So that's what I like to do all the time.
That sounds like a great summer that you had, sweetie.
So it's getting brown.
Yeah, why don't we zoom in here to the pan and show our viewers how nicely brown this beef and sausage is getting.
So are we gonna make it more brown, or are we gonna just keep it like this?
Yeah, well, we're gonna get it nicely browned. You know, we don't have to cook it all the way through, but we want to put a nice caramelization on there, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why we want the pan nice and hot. We got it smoking, right, earlier. And now we got that going. And while we do that, sweetie, why don't...
Gonna put the sauce on?
Well, we're gonna get the sauce going in just a second, okay?
Okay.
See how nice and brown that meat's getting?
Yeah. It's getting really brown. That turned brown so fast.
It does turn brown really fast, right?
Yeah.
A lot of love goes into making the lasagna, right?
Yeah.
Into everything that we cook, right?
Yeah.
Is that part of the reason why you enjoy cooking so much?
Yeah.
Yeah? And we get to do it together?
Yeah.
And what were we doing today? We did an activity today. Tell the
So
viewers.
we made a bucket list of
Bucket
places
list.
we wanted to go.
And what is a bucket list, sweetie? Tell the viewers.
It's a bucket list is a list of things of places or things that you want to do and where you want to go. So we wrote on a piece of paper where all of us wanted to go and what all of us wanted to do and get. So that's what we did.
That's what we did. And you know what, one of the interesting things that I noticed about our bucket list? So I'm just going to take the meat off the stove for a minute, and I'm going to get our Dutch oven onto here, okay?
So after we
To warm
finished
up.
making the bucket list, I actually made some tissue paper flowers.
So hold on. I was saying about the bucket list, right?
Yeah.
So one of the interesting things that I learned about the bucket list, about all 3 of us, well 4 of us, because your brother was included as well, is that we want to do a lot of things that involve eating and cooking. You wanted to take cooking classes. I wanted to take cooking classes in Italy and in Spain, right? We wanted to go to Michelin star restaurants. We wanted to go to different places to eat food. Even Mommy wanted to go to Thailand, Japan, Korea, and lots of other countries to eat food, right?
Yeah.
That was pretty cool too, right?
Yeah.
You learn a lot about each other when you're doing bucket
I
lists.
didn't just want to go for cooking classes. I also wanted to go to art classes.
Art classes
Because
too.
I love doing art at home, and when I'm not
Okay, you
cooking,
go tell the viewers about your flowers that you made.
After I was done the bucket list, I started making some tissue paper flowers. So I made these two at my daycare summer camp and PA day with my friends, and then I made this one at home it's like cotton candy blue and a cotton candy pink.
All right, so now we got the Dutch oven
Yeah.
warmed up, right? So
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the same thing over here. I'm gonna add a little bit of vegetable oil and a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, okay? And why do we not only use olive oil, sweetie?
Because it can like cause a lot of smoke.
Olive oil has a very low smoking point.
Yeah.
So at less heat, olive oil will start smoking and burning. So we want to mix it with a little bit of vegetable oil. Okay, I'm going to grab over the ingredients because the first thing that we're going to add over here is the mushrooms.
And then we're going to add the onion.
We're going to add the mushrooms in there, and then we're going to get these frying a little bit, okay? Get those nicely coated with that beautiful olive oil. Oh, it smells so nice. Don't you wish the viewers could smell that, sweetheart?
Yeah.
You grabbing all the ingredients?
Yeah. Just to make it easy.
You know why you're grabbing them all?
So we can put them in.
Because you're the little helper, right?
And you're the gourmet cook.
Yeah. All right, getting those mushrooms going. Oh yeah, they're frying up nice. We'll start browning those a little bit. And while that's browning, we're gonna add in our chopped onions. Okay, so we're gonna get that into the Dutch oven.
So it looks like salt, but it's sugar.
We're gonna get that frying a little bit, and we're gonna get those onions sweating in there with the mushrooms. We're just gonna get them until they're a little bit translucent, until they're a little softened. And then we're gonna add in the garlic. Doesn't take too long, just a minute or so. And then we add in that beautiful chopped garlic.
And then he's just gonna mix it up.
And then we'll mix that up too. You don't wanna ever add garlic too early when you're cooking because garlic burns very easily. So you wanna get your other stuff cooking first before you add the garlic in. Garlic's one of the last items. We're gonna add the parsley last, sweetie. So this smells very nice now that the garlic's in there. The onions have been cooking, along with those mushrooms. You can smell that woody aroma, right?
So now we're gonna put in the sugar with
Not yet, sweetie. First, we're gonna add in
the sauce.
the big ingredient, okay?
And then we're gonna add it.
So we're just gonna bring this up to temperature. And we're gonna get in all of these beautiful, what kind of tomatoes? You remember?
No.
No? You wanna take a guess?
Are they from like Italy?
They're from Italy and they are called San Marzano tomatoes.
So we finished mushing them up, and now they're not round tomatoes anymore. They're now liquid.
Yep. So we got that in there. Now we're just gonna add in the tomato paste. Okay. And the tomato paste, you know what it does, sweetheart? It adds a beautiful, rich tomato flavor to our meat sauce. Okay? Thank you, sweetie. We're gonna add actually 2 cans of tomato paste because we make quite a bit of meat sauce for our lasagna.
Yeah, and we have extras for lunch.
So most of our viewers know that when we make dinner, when we do daddy-daughter dinners, we always like to make a little bit extra so that we have more for lunch the next day.
We're just gonna finish adding that in.
Yeah. So what do you usually have for lunch at school, sweetie?
But I usually have whatever we cook at home.
Whatever we cook at home. And what are some of the things that your friends bring for school? I'm curious. I always love knowing what other people eat. And you guys can let us know by sending us some comments or some messages on what you guys like to eat, because maybe we can make some requests, right?
Some people make wraps and
Wraps?
sandwiches.
Oh, wraps and sandwiches are delicious.
And some people make pasta.
Uh-huh.
And I don't really know what.
No? Okay, you don't have to. All right, so now why don't you go ahead and you add in, what are you adding? Tell the viewers.
Sugar, the
Garlic powder?
yeah, and then the flakes.
Oregano flakes. Okay, so drop that in. Come a little closer. There you go. Drop that in. There you go.
You can actually see the sugar now.
Oh, you can see the sugar just dissolving into there. Adds a nice little sweetness to balance out the tart and the acidity of those tomatoes, right?
So then after we're gonna get that mixed up.
And you can see how beautifully chunky that meat sauce is already looking with those, you know, kind of rough, rustically mashed tomatoes. We got the rough chopped mushrooms, diced onions in there. And now we're gonna add in the meat. Okay, sweetie?
And then we're gonna add in the parsley.
Parsley's gonna go in last, sweetie. Okay? We're not gonna actually add the parsley right now. Okay?
Okay.
So let's just scoop this beautifully browned meat into here.
Now we're just gonna start mixing up the meat and the sauce and all the other stuff that we added in together.
And that is a full pot of meat sauce, right? Look at how beautiful that looks. So nice and chunky and tomatoey, right?
And then
Is tomatoey even a word?
no.
No? You guys ever learn it at school? No?
So
Am I being silly?
so after we're going to add the lid for the cast oven. So
Dutch oven.
yeah.
Dutch oven made from cast iron, so be careful with that lid because it is very heavy, right?
Yeah.
And it could hurt you if it falls. All right, that looks beautiful, right?
Yeah.
So let's just bring this up to a boil, okay? And once we bring it up to a boil, what we're gonna do is we're gonna cover it, we're gonna turn that heat down to a simmer, and we're gonna let this simmer for about an hour or two while we get everything else ready, right?
Yeah.
All right, and here it goes up to a boil right now. So if you want to throw that cover on, there you go. We'll get it down to a simmer, and we'll see you guys in a couple hours. Hey, so we've had this meat sauce stewing for
28.
about 30 minutes now, right?
Yeah.
So let's add in the parsley. Let's see how it's doing first. Oh, that looks like it's doing well, right?
So let's
Look
start
at that.
the parsley.
Yeah, so let's get that parsley in, okay?
I'm gonna start sprinkling it while you mix it
Come, you can just dump the whole bowl in if you want.
up. I'm just gonna sprinkle.
Okay. Sprinkle that parsley in there, that freshly chopped parsley. Just dump the whole bowl so it's not falling everywhere. There you go. Beautiful, beautiful. That'll add some nice flavor and it'll give it a nice freshness as well.
So
All right, so now that we got that meat sauce stewing on the stove, why don't we get some of the other stuff that we need for the lasagna ready?
yeah, so we're gonna use some ricotta cheese.
Oh, lasagna's not lasagna without ricotta, right?
Yeah. So I'm just gonna open it up.
All right, so we got some fresh ricotta there.
Cheese.
All right, so what I'll do is I will get it into
The
our
bowl.
little mixing
Yeah,
bowl
I
here.
will.
You're gonna do that? Yeah,
All of it?
all of it, yep. So,
That came out nice.
yep. So why don't you go ahead and break the ricotta. So what we're gonna add into the ricotta cheese, well, you can use the fork. So what we're gonna add into the ricotta cheese is we're gonna add an egg. Okay, so that helps the ricotta as well as the lasagna as it's baking in the oven stay nice and moist. Okay, so we're gonna add an egg into that ricotta. And we're gonna mix in some fresh parsley. Okay, so why don't you go ahead and mix that in, sweetheart. So you got an egg and you got fresh parsley mixing into that ricotta.
you don't have to separate the yolk or the eggs.
Yeah.
Part of them.
No, you don't have to separate the egg. You can just mix it all in together into there, okay?
So it looks like it's getting pretty well mixed together.
Yeah.
Looks like the parsley was already there.
Yeah, so that's nicely mixed. We want to get it nice and smooth, well mixed together, and that's going to add a nice flavor and filling to that lasagna when we get it, when we start building the layers, okay?
Yes, so.
All right, perfect. So we're going to put this over to the side while our meat sauce cooks, and we will get back to you very shortly.
Bye.
All right, everybody, we've had this meat sauce cooking for 2 hours now. Let's have a look and see how it looks. Come on over, everybody.
Come on, Daddy,
Hey, Nikki. Look at that. Oh, that's good, eh, sweetie?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. All right.
So,
It's nice and thick.
and it's ready to stack up the lasagna. We have everything ready to stack it. The Parmesan cheese grated.
No. What is it? That's mozzarella cheese.
Oh, we have the pasta all boiled up, and the sauce and the
And the ricotta mixture. And Nikki's gonna grab a little piece of cheese and run away.
and eat it up.
All right. So now we're gonna put the lasagna together.
Yeah.
So how we put it together is we do layers.
Yeah.
Layer of sauce, layer of noodles. Layer of ricotta, layer of noodles. Layer of sauce, layer of noodles. Okay?
At the very last one, we sprinkle the mozzarella
Sprinkle the mozzarella. All right.
just to make it
So
extra
let
cheesy.
me get us started with this sauce, all right?
Okay.
So we're just gonna get a nice layer of sauce on the base, okay?
Okay.
Nice and meaty. Look at those meat chunks, sweetheart. And the mushrooms are in there and the tomatoes. Looks great, right?
Yeah.
This is gonna taste delicious.
Do we
You
have
can
to put it everywhere?
Huh? Yeah, well, we're just gonna get a little layer at the bottom there.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
we're gonna add the little
And then we're gonna add the noodles, okay? So what we'll do is we'll do the noodles like this. 1, 2, 3,
And the last one.
and we'll do 4 on the bottom, okay? And then we'll do 3 in the middle, and then 4 on the top, okay? So now let's put a layer of sauce again, okay?
Nikki's coming
And
back
here comes
over.
Nikki coming back for some more cheese.
Hello.
Nikki, say hi.
Hi, everyone.
Look at the camera.
Bye-bye.
This is a nice hearty lasagna, right?
Yeah.
We have a nice rich sauce,
It's lots of
lots of pasta.
So we're just gonna add it here. Just
Okay, go 3 noodles.
1, 2, 1 more. And 3.
Alright, let's now do a layer of the ricotta. Okay? So we'll just get that spread out nice and thin across the noodles.
And just spread it out.
And we'll
Don't
just-
spread it like this. Spread it along the noodles.
Yeah, it's a little easier to get it across if you spread it across like that, right? There you go.
And last noodle to cover. And then we're gonna add more noodles. Noodles we have the most of. And I'm gonna start doing that over again.
Alright, so let me just get a little bit more here in the
Do you
corner.
want me to do 3 again?
Huh? Yeah,
3?
3 again, please.
1, 2, and then
Actually, let's do 4, okay? Because it looks like we got a lot of noodles.
Nikki's back for more cheese.
Got it?
Yep.
You do the noodles. That's 3.
And last one. 4.
Alright, now let's get a lot of sauce onto this layer. It's gonna be a nice layer of sauce, okay? A nice thick layer. This lasagna usually feeds a lot, right, sweetie? Feeds a lot of people. We usually take it for lunch a couple times during the week.
We have a
Or
lot
for
of
dinner.
noodles still. Look how much noodles we still have. And we only
Oh,
have
that's okay, sweetie. You'll see how quickly the noodles will go. Okay?
this one's a little
We'll
broken, but
see
that's
how quickly
okay.
they go. All right, we got a nice layer of sauce
How many
there.
do you want me to put? 4? Or 3?
4. Let's do 4. You know what, sweetie? Why don't we do? Okay, do 4.
Oh, look. I'm coming down for sneeze. There's a lot of stuff.
That's all right.
Nikki's back for 2.
And 4.
I think we can add a little.
Well, we don't want too much.
Yeah.
Spread it out like that.
So more
Let's get
avocado.
avocado now. Nice layer of avocado.
That's probably the last layer of avocado.
This is going to be the last layer of avocado. Only 2 layers of avocado usually. Okay. Perfect.
Last bit of avocado.
All right. Now we're going to do 1 more layer of meat, top layer.
Right after we add the noodles.
This is a serious lasagna. How many layers we got in there? 5?
Yeah.
How many more noodles do you have? Do you have 4 more for the top?
I think we have more than 4.
More than 4? Okay, perfect.
2.
Let's do 4 more. Alright,
Yeah, we have 4 more. Exactly 4.
Perfect. See? That's usually how we do it, sweetie. It's usually perfect.
Let's see if it's correct. Then we have just 4 more.
We'll have just enough. We are overflowing on our pan here, but that's okay. It's a perfect fit in our lasagna tray here. We made just enough sauce for what we do. Hold on.
Just
Susan.
enough pasta
Just enough
came
noodles.
into the pot. Okay. This is the last layer. We're gonna
And here comes the cheese monster again.
cheesy.
Cheese monster. When are you gonna cook with your sister and your dad? Then it wouldn't be called daddy daughter dinner, right?
It's called Daddy Daughter Saturday.
Yeah. Filmed by mommy. Alright, we just got 1 more little bit of sauce. Might as well finish it off there. Alright, perfect.
To add the noodles. Cheese.
Get the noodles on there.
Yeah,
Then
we have
we're gonna get
4
the cheese
more.
on.
We have 4 more. Exactly 4. Right?
You know what the best part of the lasagna is? The corner pieces.
Yeah.
Once they get nice and crisp. Right, sweetie?
Yep. Ready to sprinkle on with mozzarella. No, not cheese! Okay, time's up.
Get the mozzarella on. Here, we'll bring the mozzarella close.
Sorry, little cheese monster. I think that's good.
Let's cover this guy in mozzarella.
Okay, that's good now.
Huh?
Nikki, you want to eat the extra cheese?
Beautiful. This is gonna be cheesy, meaty, and delicious. So we're gonna get the oven preheating right now to about 400 degrees, and we're gonna bake this for an hour, and we'll see you soon.
Nikki, say bye. Bye.
Bye.
Cheesy. So the lasagna is done in the oven.
The lasagna is ready, so let's see. It's been 3 hours, 2 hours cooking the meat sauce,
1 hour in the oven.
1 hour in the oven. Let's see what we got over here. Oh, yeah. That looks delicious, right, sweetheart?
Yeah,
Look at that. Beautiful. We got those crispy edges. Bubbling cheese. And that is
Daddy!
one delicious lasagna. All right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode of Daddy Daughter Dinner.
see you next time.
Bye, everybody.